Electric grid, some of the biggest machines humans have ever built. Why are so interesting? Well, first, when you switch the light on, a turbine might start spinning thousands of kilometers away. And the second really interesting thing to me is that demand and supply must be always kept in balance. Because when it comes to the water supply, this has just to roughly match the demand, and the rest is stored in reservoirs. But the electricity grid must be constantly kept in balance because the amount of electricity introduced into the grid affects the frequency. But the components on the grid are designed to operate within a very specific frequency range, and that's why every device connected to the grid uses electricity produced moments ago. This is the biggest takeaway of this video. Now, going into additional details, we could say that most of the consumption variability happens during the day for commuting, heating, air conditioning, and there's a variation for special events like sports events or large devices which are big enough to cause a problem on the grid, have a startup protocol which can go far as involving a communication with utility. And these are just some examples of the variables which must be taken into account to forecast the demand, because you have to prepare yourself to produce it, right? To produce the necessary electricity. Traditionally, utilities had to match the supply instantly through a couple of different sources. Let's say layers. Then you have layer 0, which is meant to cover the baseline of the demand with nuclear or coal, which could not be really fired up quickly, so they have to run steadily. And then you have layer 1. The bulk of it is covered by natural power gas plants in simple cycles, where a turbine can start producing electricity in less than 15 minutes, which is good enough to cope with the spikes. But then you might want to consider an additional piece to the cake. Renewable energies. They are great, but they are forcing a redesign of the grids, accounting essentially for two factors. First, the marginal cost tends to zero for the excess production, which is good, but they are uncertain and they lead for the need to storage. Batteries are today not convenience for household since they have a paid-off time longer than a decade. And the other possibility is water, which is one of the oldest ways to store energy. It's green, it's cheap, and can be used to match spikes like the natural gas turbines do. You have two reservoirs, one higher than the other. The water is pumped from the lower to the highest when the electricity is abundant and cheap, while it flows downwards, powering up turbines back to the lower reservoir during demand, during peaks in the demand. And this is great, but you can even go a little bit farther, reaching the new frontier, hydrogen. You can refer to the video I've just posted yesterday where I covered this in detail. So to sum it up, why the electric grid is one of the biggest machines humans have ever built? Well, it's big because it's big. You know, you have to power up an entire nation, a continent. The continents are connected. Okay, but why is so fascinated? Because all these billions of devices must be kept in balance between the production and the demand, and the consumption point is thousands of kilometers away from the production point. Astonishing, right? Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye.